My legend is Gareth Sobers. It's not much of a contest to me. He was, I think, the world's greatest ever all-rounder, with more dimensions than even the average all-rounder, let alone the average cricketer. A superb talent, and I remember watching him as a young man, as a boy, basically, and just watching the ball disappear as quickly as a rifle shot to the boundary and over the boundary. He was a great, great cricketer.
I mean, Sachin Tendulkar's done. I would go for Viv Richards. I mean, there are a lot of great cricketers around in the time. I mean, lots and lots of great cricketers. But Viv managed to get through and stay at the top for many, many years. So I suppose the one I played with, I'd put Viv Richards there.
Again, before the break, our panel added 4 great batsmen, Bradman, Richards, Tendulkar and Lara, to their selection of cricket legends. 3 more, and then you'll be voting for the cricket legend who goes into next week's grand final.
And don't forget, that programme will start an hour earlier at 7 till 9, and then we will have the winner. Now time to reveal the last 3 cricket legends. First, Pakistan's Imran Khan, a genius with both bat and ball. His explosive bowling talents and sublime batting skills helped turn Pakistan into world beaters.
Imran was the most compelling of cricketers, the nicest of men. And you know, if you go to the subcontinent, to Pakistan in particular, he's not just a legend, he's a god. He is really a phenomenon.
In 1987, on British soil, Imran majestically led Pakistan to their first ever Test series win over England.
Pakistan were a rabble without him. One of the greatest leaders there's ever been. He's a wonderful all-rounder, a huge figure.
In his last match, he won a World Cup final. He hit 72, took the last wicket and clinched the victory.
He had that great presence to pull other people together. That's the great leadership quality, to make other people play better. And anyhow, all the women would vote for him.
Now it's Adam Gilchrist, Australia's supreme wicket-keeper batsman. The big hitter burst onto the scene in the late 90s with a one-man mission to destroy the opposition.
I mean, he scores so quickly, takes the attack to the bowlers right from the word go. He scores heavily in one-day cricket and in Test cricket. I don't think there's been another wicket-keeper batsman like him in the history of the game.
Adam's well known for his quick-fire runs and holds the world record for the fastest double century.
If we went back to pre-Gilchrist sort of time run rates, I think everyone would start saying, oh, this is really boring cricket. And he just moved the benchmark up as to run rates.
Gilchrist was instrumental in Australia's World Cup winning teams of '99 and 2003.
I think he's a phenomenal batsman. It's a great joy to think that we're going to see him this summer.
Finally, Australia's Shane Warne, for years the world's finest spin bowler. His Ashes debut in '93 was spectacular. He took his first wicket with a glorious first ball.
To get past the bat, to get past the front pad, to get past the back pad and just knock the top of off stump. Just amazing. Mike Gatting just looked bewildered. He didn't know what had happened.
In '99, Warne's 4-wicket haul in the World Cup final led Australia to victory.
He's changed the course of spin bowling. I've never seen anybody spin the ball as much as him, and so accurately. He's brilliant.
Shane holds the world record for Test wickets, which now stands at 583.
The blonde, long hair that goes to different shades, the change in weight. There's certain people who can talk the talk. There's only few that can then go out there and walk the walk as well. Shane Warne does both.
Okay, for the stats on these last 3 selections, here's Georgie again.
Thanks, Des. Imran Khan, the Pakistani all-rounder, a late developer, so we'll concentrate on the last 10 years of his career, where his stats really stack up. Between 1982 and 1992, he played 51 tests and averaged a sensational 50 with the bat and 19 with the ball, helping his country to some pretty memorable wins over England. He's also our only man tonight to have gone on to have a career in politics. Next up, Australia's wicket-keeping and batting legend Adam Gilchrist. A one-day international specialist, he's played 219 one-day matches for the Aussies, putting on a pretty impressive 7,300 runs to date. He also excels when it comes to dismissals. In fact, he's top of the pile with a total of 363 outs, the highest tally in one-day history. Last man in, but certainly not least, Shane Warne. He has, of course, taken the most wickets in Test history with 583. He's also bowled the most balls in Test cricket of any man ever, a total of 34,438. Marginally better than your good self, Des.
I'm going to pass straight on to David, because you've got a question first, David, haven't you?
I have indeed got a question first. Turning to our distinguished panel there, I wanted to ask you, Nasser, first, as a respected captain, a question. Two of the people we've been talking about tonight, if you were putting together a side, who would you have rather batting in your side between Viv Richards and Brian Lara?
This is an argument they have in every bar in the West Indies at the moment over a few rum and cokes. They argue over this, Richards or Brian Lara. I don't think I could split them. I'm not sitting on the fence, but...
Yes, you are.
I am sitting on the fence. Not the easiest of questions I've ever had. I was on the field when Brian Lara got 375. I was there 10 years later when he got 400. He holds every record. He's done it against the Australians. Because he's my era, I'd have to go Lara, because the game has got better and better, and he's playing in the modern era and still doing it. So I'd have to have Brian Charles Lara, but...
I think Nasser's battle-scarred. I'd go for Richards every time.
Really? Why?
Well, I think the power, the dominance, as Jeff was saying, he's the arrogance, he would intimidate. And I think Lara, in his career, for such an amazingly talented cricketer, has been extraordinarily inconsistent. There have been the great runs. I mean, he's shown, like two of our chaps in the last one, Imran and Warne, Lara has shown a bit of form off the field as well. And I think that may have hindered him slightly.
Nasser's battle scarred by Brian Lara. I played against both Viv Richards and Brian Lara, and if I had to choose between the two of them, I'd pick them both.
Very good. Well, I mean, we've had 10 great cricketers picked tonight, but there's a dearth of out-and-out bowlers apart from Shane Warne.
Well, yeah, as I said at the start of the show, these three blokes got together and picked a top 10 of cricket legends, and not one fast bowler in the top 10. And that's the problem. Here lies the problem, is these blokes think that scoring runs is important, but if you don't take 20 wickets, you don't win Test matches.
So who would you have picked? Go on, Jeff.
That's not true. My choice would have been Freddie Truman, because I think he's not only was he world record holder, first man to get 300 Test wickets, and he got them at 21s, which is a fantastic average for Test bowling. He bowled against some of the world's greats, didn't he? He bowled against Sobers, Whittle, Walcott, Weeks, all in the same team. He said he bowled one day and England didn't get a wicket at Barbados, so there were flat pitches. And he's an icon. I mean, you just say Fred and everybody knows who you mean. I would have put him in, but remember, it's a democracy. We have a vote.
I wasn't sure he was a pal of yours, Fred Truman.
I didn't have a
I don't bother about pals. It's not my personal opinion. It's my professional opinion. I think great bowler, tremendous character. I mean, the stories abound about him. He's larger than life, but it's a democracy. We all have a vote.
I didn't have a vote. I get out here, read that there's no bowls and think, come on.
So who would you have picked, Murdo? Who would you have picked,
You were a
Murdo?
fast bowler.
Well, of course. Sorry?
Who would you have picked?
Oh, you just say DK. And everyone knows you talk about Dennis Lilly. Of the West Indies, I wrestled with that. I actually nominated Courtney Walsh, and that was through longevity and 500 wickets, but probably a better bowler for the West Indies with Michael Marshall.
But you also put as a reserve Murugatharan too.
Yes.
You don't think he's dubious?
He's taken 500 Test wickets. That's for the umpires and the referees to decide. It's not for us to decide.
Henry,
Jeff looking amazed.
Does he capture the imagination? Murali doesn't like Truman or DK Lilly, does he?
He does in Sri Lanka.
Henry, a name that occurs to me is Jim Laker, those 19 famous wickets all those years
Well,
ago.
I know it's the awful thing about this is the people who leave out, isn't it? I mean, we were talking
Those
actually
19 wickets.
19 for 90. Merv and I were talking about this when we were having a glass of water, I may say, beforehand. And I was saying, well, really, we ought to get Laker down. And yet, Warren's 583 Test wickets, you can't run away from it.
The only day I ever played truant from school was to watch those 19 wickets. Fantastic.
You showed what a good judge you are. How did you pick that day?
David, are we picking the greatest 10 cricketers? Or are we picking legends, people who capture the imagination, people who are bigger than the game? And, you know, if you were picking the best cricketers, you'd have to pick the Black Bradman, wouldn't you, George Headley? You'd have to pick S.F. Barnes, the great master bowler, got 185 Test wickets at 16. Marshall, somebody shouted over here, was a fantastic bowler, got him at 20. But this guy got him at 16, and most of them here have never heard of him. So we're not picking the greatest 10 cricketers, we're picking great cricketers who capture the imagination. Surely that's what we're doing.
Well, you made the definition
Can I ask a
yourself
question,
earlier.
though?
Yeah, that's all.
Can I just ask a question?
I just wanted to ask, what do you feel about Gilchrist as a legend? Do you think he qualifies as a legend, Nasser?
Definitely for the reasons Geoffrey gave, because when you look back on him, he is someone that changed the pace and the tempo of Test cricket. In the entertainment business, Test cricket, and he certainly entertains. Let's hope he doesn't do that too much this season, but he entertains.
Well, Imran Khan, he could play as both a batsman or a bowler, and certainly deserved to be there. Adam Gilchrist, if he wasn't a wicketkeeper, there's an argument that he could play as a batsman alone. But to have him batting at 7 and wicket-keeping is a huge advantage for Australia.
We've had a lot of texts about one man who they think should be amongst the legends, and that's your man there, Geoffrey Boycott. We've had a lot of texts. There
lies my argument. There lies my argument. I said Nuri Lithman, and he said, why? Because he's a legend in Sri Lanka. Now, you asked the Sri Lankans about Jeff Boycott. If you had this show in England, in Sri Lanka, would Jeff Boycott get one vote from a Sri Lankan person?
That's right, that's a fair comment, and that is the point, isn't it? You've got to pick somebody who's not just English. We're not picking Englishmen, we're picking world names, people who capture the imagination worldwide.
Yeah, and that's why it's important. We've got there Imran Khan and we've got Sachin Tendulkar and so on, all of them in there. Well, you can vote now, by the way, folks, and there is 3 ways, as always. Either text legend to 81106, and they'll tell you what to do, or log on to sky1.co.uk, or if you're watching through digital satellite, you can vote via the interactive red button.
And just to jog your memories, here once again are the panel's 10 choices. Ashes hero, Botham.
All the talents, Sobers.
Victorian maestro, Grace.
The Don, Bradman.
Supremely confident, Richards.
India's little master, Tendulkar.
Record breaker, Lara.
Captain Marvel, Imran.
Quickfire, Gilchrist.
King of the spin, Warren. Well, we'll announce the winner next week, and whoever it is will join Pele, Ali, Navratilova, and our whole team of great legends for the final next Sunday.
Plus, making up the 10 finalists is a wildcard choice. Over the last 7 weeks, we've asked our panellists for their pick of the legends from all the sports which haven't been represented so far. Their choice was quite clear, and we'll let you know next week.
The case for each finalist will be put by a star of the sport, or in some cases a celebrity supporter. And there will be lots of argument. Our advocates include boxer Barry McGuigan, former England manager Sir Bobby Robson, one-time spinner, now TV personality Phil Tufnell, and the veteran racing commentator Sir Peter O'Sullivan. All that and more.
It'll be the climax to our 8-week quest, so don't miss it. That's Sunday at 7 o'clock on Sky One next week. So for now, from both of us, it's
Good night.